Welcome to Who's a Good Human, a podcast about the animals that have left a mark on our hearts. From cats and dogs to chickens and horses, this is the podcast to lift your heart and remind you that animals make the world a better place. I'm Siangard, your host, from France and Italy. Two dogs with the same instinct, to hunt. But what's it like having them in the same home? Welcome to Who's a Good Human, Anya and Pete. It is so lovely to have you sharing the story of your dogs, Amare and Freddie, with us. Diving straight in, I did watch The Truffle Hunters. It was a documentary, Pete, that you recommended about the men who search with their dogs the Italian forest to dig up very expensive truffles that are then sold for thousands of euros. And I felt like I was getting an insight into your dog Amare's personality and what she was born to do. Did you ever expect, both Pete and Anya, that in your dog ownership journey you would end up owning a poodle? Now, I'm going to try and not butcher the pronunciation of this. A Lagotto Romagnolo.
Yes, very well.
Better than I say it. Much better than I say it. I just say Lagotto.
Yeah.
I think for me at least, it was also up until that time not a dog breed that I knew much about. I'd probably seen a couple around the place. The poodle was something that we definitely thought about before getting it, but the Lagotto really just popped in probably only a few months before we actually got it.
Yeah, and it met the hypoallergenic needs. That the reasons for looking at the poodle. We didn't really look into the other needs of the dog when we got it. We sort of went on, yeah, it's a hypoallergenic dog. It's a good size, and they look cute.
When did you start unpicking the interesting quirks and natures of the Lagotto?
As soon as we brought her home.
Yeah.
or even traveling home. I think we found out a bit about her on the way home. And I had her in my lap and she was getting restless. So I'm like, oh, does she need to wee? So we let her out on the sidewalk and yeah, no wee. Back in the car and off we went.
You obviously got the dog because of the hypoallergenic nature of the coat that the dog has. Did you ever look at, the mixed breeds of poodles?
Pete had Maya and she was a cavoodle.
No, she was a spoodle.
A spoodle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So a cocker spaniel and poodle.
Yeah.
And again, very similar sort of overall size dog. And I really did love my previous dog, Maya, that I had. It's very sad when we had to let her go. And seeing the Lagottos originally before we bought her down at the park and just seeing how they played with some of their owners really just inspired us a little bit to have a bit of a deeper look into that breed.
How difficult was it for you to find a breeder in Australia? Because I was reading some stats on the Lagotto and it seems like it's a fairly rare dog with only something like 10,000 in the world right now.
Really?
Oh, okay.
It must be a lot in Melbourne then.
There are a lot in Melbourne. So the breeders were listed on Dogs Online, so that wasn't a problem to find.
Yeah.
The registered breeders. And Pete had sent out an email of interest to a few of them. I think I sent one out ages ago, and at that time one of them actually sent an email out saying we've got a litter coming up. At that time when we were looking, there were a few litters around Melbourne with puppies available. So that was kind of the timing as well.
And we hadn't gone and seen any other breeders at that stage of the Lagottos, and one had popped up for this particular breeder and said, look, I've got a female available, or two females left, I think. And if you want to come out, you can come out. It was literally, we got a call on a Tuesday night. We were out there on a Thursday, met the puppy once, and the breeder was happy enough with us and our back history of having dogs before, and basically offered us the pup to pick up in a couple of weeks from then.
Can you talk me through that day when you went to pick Amare up?
We had enough bedding and enough things ready at home. We've gone and picked her up, but I think we had some towels, but that was it. So I think we had to take a puppy wee pad with us from the breeder or something to sit the dog on in the car coming home. So we hadn't been fresh enough with puppy experience to remember that they're going to wee on the way home. And getting her home, I think we just set up the backyard. It was a nice sunny day, and we brought her from the garage and just had her play in the backyard for a bit to get her used to that space. I think that's probably
Just calm the dog down, really, and just try to get them to understand the space that they're going to live in. And, you know, it's a very traumatizing thing. Imagine being a little puppy and being ripped away from where you've just been for the last
all your
next number of weeks, and all your friends and your mum. And so a lot of it was really just trying to socialize the puppy with us and show that we're not going to be constantly playing with the dog. It was actually when we got back home, coming from Melbourne, you would have known this, Sienna, at some stage. You have three, 4 seasons in a day, and it was actually a nice little sunny afternoon that we got her back. So she was able to have a bit of a play and run around in the back before she, as any puppy does, just tucking herself out. And eventually.
No.
I like that. Anya's like, no, Pete.
Out.
Yeah.
She's like, no, Pete, she didn't tucker herself out. She just kept on going like a go buddy.
I just remember the good things.
Yeah. She did get familiar with the backyard, which was what I wanted, because that's where she needed to be happy and safe. I don't know if I knew from dogs or from cats that you just leave them in the one room and get them used to the one space first and then introduce the next space. So, of course, it was a bit quicker introduction, but yeah, I tried to keep her then just to the living area. But yeah, because also she didn't stop, Pete.
Yeah.
And so we had to be watching her the whole time and watching what she got into, watching where she peed. So yeah, it was,
It was a lot to keep on top of. I have to ask about the name because I'm really bad at naming animals. My past history has been Coco, Mocha, Louie, or King Louie, Edie, and Lucy. You have this beautiful name, Amare. Can you tell me the story of where that came from?
I think both of us came up with a list of names that we started to, pencil. Once we knew we were going to be getting this puppy, and we didn't have a lot of time, so we went through a few different names, as you always would. But the standout thing when we went and met the owner and we got to see her, and even the owner pointed this out to us, is Lagottos are multicolored. And for her, with her different colouring that she's got on her body, there it's different patches. Different patches. So they often have beautiful, a whitish puppy coat, but then on top of that, you see these beautiful browns and black colours, and it's coming on their heads and everything. Very, very colourful. And in particular, she had a patch on the side of her. Even the owner points out and said, oh, it's kind of like a love heart.
He'd named her Hearty because he'd given just the name to differentiate each of the puppies.
So to pick out the different puppies. Obviously, knowing that the breed was originally Italian, what is love, and you've got the famous songs by the singers. Is it Dean Martin with That's Amore singing that? So I started just having a bit of a read up about Italian and what is love and those sort of words. And from that came the verb of to love, and which is, I think it's not pronounced the way that we say it, it's more like, but we came up with the word amare from that. So it really was based on the pattern on the side of her chest
love heart,
which is a love heart.
Which we were hoping it would still be a love heart as she grew and the colours changed, and it's somewhat of a love heart.
There's a pattern there, but I wouldn't call it a love heart anymore.
Not noticeable, but when you look hard enough, it's there.
I love that. Well, it's such an unusual name, and the Italian connection, obviously, because Italian truffle hunters, and as I said, I watched your documentary that you suggested watching, Pete, and it was so heartwarming, and also at the same time, you could see the truffle hunters have this huge passion for their dogs, and obviously, Amare has a instinct in her, which is to hunt, because that's part of her breed. So how did that those traits that you could see, and I only from reading and watching the truffle hunters, I got a sense of it. How did those traits emerge in the first, say, 6 months with Amare?
We didn't quite click on the fact that she would be a working dog. It all clicked afterwards. She just did not stop. She couldn't stop. She was just constantly patrolling, just on the go. Just got to get up and check everything, check the ground, check every little detail, every sound. She was very, very conscious of, very aware of, and then responded to. So the dog, she's our head of security. So any noise, she will let us know. We've had to switch the Ring doorbell sound off because, even when that plays on the TV, she will just, she's very responsive. She takes her jobs very seriously. She just needs to be working all the time.
Very much sort of like some traits that you might see also in border collies, where you've got, you've got the old ball obsession that occurs. So that's her down at the park when we're outside of the house, very much focused on returning that ball to you and focused on the owners and trying to please the owners by bringing that ball so that she can then get the ball thrown, rather than being necessarily like our other dog, Freddie, which is a lot more social at the park with other dogs. The sheer amount of energy that we're still getting out of her several years later in terms of when is this dog going to settle down a bit and sleep a little bit more, because she is very, very active, very, very active.
That sounds like it would have been quite impactful on both of your lives, especially in the early days of having her. Was that one of the reasons why you decided to bring Freddie into the mix to help settle her down?
We had planned to get the two dogs with Amare and the amount of work that was involved, not being able to leave her out of our sight with that amount of work. Then there was like, how can we handle another dog? I did believe and hoped that getting the second dog would help, especially with her separation anxiety, and just to play with her, be company. And thankfully, it did work well that way.
We've both had dogs before, but only had one dog at a time. One thing is that, it's great because your dog's going to have another companion while you're not around at home. But there is also other practical considerations.
It's another being in the house.
It's another being in the house.
More work. Yeah.
More work, but also even if you want to go on holidays and you have to leave your dogs behind, it also means that, well, those two dogs live with each other. You're not going to separate them and send one over here, one over there. So it also, for anyone thinking of getting a second dog in a household, it's the consideration of trying to keep those dogs together even when you're not around.
Yeah, you've got to pay for it.
It sounds like there was risk in getting Freddie and bringing Freddie home, and Freddie's a beautiful, very elegant, gorgeous poodle. Was there a specific moment where you thought, there's a difference here for Amare and for us as well, as, the two human beings that are looking after this dog?
So we had been out twice to the breeder's property to visit the puppies before we knew which puppy we were getting, even just to visit that litter. The breeder did it for socialization purposes, so she encouraged all the prospective owners to come along. Yeah, for Freddie. So we'd already seen there was a difference. All of those dogs were just, they were very different in temperament. I could hold them. They were still a bit wriggly puppies, but not to that degree of, I have to keep going. I'll keep going. It was lovely. If you have the opportunity, definitely take it to go and visit a litter of poodle puppies before 8 weeks old. It is just the most joyful experience. Just running around and sitting on you, and you can cuddle them, and that was great.
I think the thing was that because there's a few months between both of them, when we did have Fred initially, he was smaller. He was smaller than Amare. And the fact is, he's a standard poodle. So standard poodles are going to start growing and growing and growing. So initially, they used to play some games there where Amare would use her height to be able to jump onto the couch and look down on Freddie and tease.
Steal a
toy and tease. Yep. But then within, just only a few months, Freddie had already outgrown her, and it wasn't able to get away with the same sort of mischief. And there's also the other thing. You've got two different dogs, very different sort of personalities, oddball personality of Amare that we've got, and the more calm personality overall of Fred. And just hoping that they really do get along and they don't start fighting or having any other issues. Who's going to be the alpha dog in the house? You
Yeah,
know?
well, they need an alpha dog, yeah.
Yeah.
But so there was also the concern of with having two puppies similar age, you can also have the litter mate syndrome, which is a debatable term. But basically, if you leave young dogs together on their own, they will form their own rules and way of living. And it can be antisocial to the way you want to live your life and want to bring up dogs. So there was also that concern, but that's something that I did work on straight away to make sure as best as I could that didn't happen.
How did you intervene to make sure that that little mate syndrome didn't actually express in their relationship?
Individualized attention, just making sure each of them had their time. They just weren't left alone for extended periods of time anyway. Making sure they each had the attention that they needed and with us and not just with each other. That's it. And just keeping an eye out for it as well.
It sounds like a very intensive time for both of you to make sure that the dogs are getting attention, they're getting all their needs met, and also planning maybe a holiday in there for yourself somewhere as well. What's the relationship like in the household now between you both and the dogs?
I think it's all settled quite well. We've got a good way of working in the house. When we did bring Freddie home, straight away, Amare just she just loved him. It was the best thing we could ever give her. She just had that instant. You could see it in her. She just had this fascination with this dog, and she's like, "Oh, this is just so good. This is the best present for me." And Freddie also just adored his big sister just from the get go. So we still do that. We still do have that, but and I do actually feel it sometimes. My ego feels it that yeah, I'm not Freddie's number one. Amare's Freddie's number one, but I'm the close second. But I'll deal with that because I'm close enough second, I think.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me over time has been that routines form in our households. All of us have got to work, and we've set up our routines with the dogs associated with those routines to make sure that the dogs always get a lot of attention.
Daily
And then-
routines revolve around the dogs.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. They know the routine of getting up and within the next half an hour, we're going to go for a walk.
Yeah, they have some brekkie and then I take them for a walk because I
Yeah.
wasn't working for a year and I was studying. So I made sure that I was still getting up early and getting them. I had the time to get them down to the park, but now I'm continuing it while working.
Yeah, so it means
Challenging,
much
but
earlier.
yeah,
Yeah.
they love it. I
And-
love it.
Obviously, routine wise, understanding, sun's starting to go down. They'll get their second walk of the day. We like to give them a lot of exercise, a lot of playtime to be outside. We're in a suburb, Melbourne here, so we don't have huge backyards. They do have some backyards, but they really do need those bigger park experiences and the proper walks, particularly with Amari being the working dog.
I was going to ask you about the working dog aspect when you met other people who also had Lagottos, whether first off people knew that they were getting a working dog that has a lot of energy for a long period of time.
When we catch up with the other Lagotto owners, it is a counselling session and a support group. Unless you've had one before, I don't think you really know what you're going to get. Or had a working dog before, which I don't think any of the people we catch up regularly do. Some people were keen to get a Lagotto, others were keen to get a different dog but ended up with a Lagotto, so it's a bit of a mixed group.
We go to and catch up with some of the Lagottos of Melbourne, and we've probably met over about a dozen Lagottos. But even in that group, as any group, you can't stereotype the personality of the Lagottos. There's a couple of the Lagottos that are very buoyant and active and will be the first ones to jump in the river, which is the sort of personality that Murray is. And then you've also got the ones that are a bit more timid, will keep with their owners. The owner doesn't really let them off the leash. So just like human beings, there is still a big different types of personalities there. And we've just got one of the bigger personality types, definitely, with the way that she is, that's for sure.
My second question around that, how do you keep, besides going to the dog park, is there any other ways that you keep them engaged in learning and things like getting out and about and sniffing things or obedience school?
Yep. So Amari's energy is not just physical, which was something Pete had difficulty understanding initially. But from the reading I'd done, I already picked that up, that it was the mental stimulation that she needed as well. Pete's like, oh, let's just keep her running. It's like, no, she doesn't stop. So that's no point. Before Freddie came, I did a lot of work on training feet awareness, different ways of sitting. There was some fantastic YouTube clips on how to progress your dog through these different training steps. And I did a lot of that with her, and she loved it, and it kept her mentally stimulated with the learning and still the physical exercise as well. It kept her entertained and I could supervise her while I was working with her. That all died away a bit when we got Freddie, because the extra body in the house and the extra puppy, but also when I try and do work with both of them, you've got Freddie trying to learn, how to put his paws on something, and then you've got Amari. She can't contain herself. She's up and say, oh, I can do that. And she'll put her paws down. Give me a treat. Give me the treat. So we backed off on that sort of training a bit because it was a bit more difficult with the two of them. And because Freddie was such a good dog as well. Like it was, he still needed work, but he just didn't need anywhere near as much. He knew what we wanted. And
He's an easier companion dog, that's for sure. I think the main other thing outside of all of this work that Anya does put in extra.
We did join early with the obedience club.
Yeah. And it's really important that anyone who gets a puppy really do think about doing that.
It's a good community. It's good value for money. You pay your membership, then you go along to the sessions.
Yeah.
That's all included in your membership cost.
Yeah.
They also ran an extra activity, which was a sniffing school. We took them both along to sniffing school and the introductory class, and they absolutely loved it.
What does that look like, sniffing school?
Yeah, so it was interesting. We were very excited. We were very excited to go to it. And it was something that was happening on the Saturday. It was like 4 sessions the first time. Three or 4 sessions. And the first thing is you go into the room with the dogs and they've got the crates there. We're like, oh, crates. Oh, Murray doesn't do crates. But basically what it is trying to do a certain amount of scent association with treats initially to lure the dogs to basically realise that they're being good dogs and to be fed. But really it's more than just the treats. It's more than them just hunting around for a treat. It's trying to associate with the different scent that they use for the professional games.
You start off with, there's just a lot of boxes and they'll put treats in the box. So it's teaching the dog that you are going to find something in the box. The dog will start sniffing around for where that treat is in the box. So it's kind of refining the way they sniff and that they are actually able to look for something with their nose. For any of the professional sniffing dogs, it's the same thing. You start off in one place, but the end goal is to find something in particular. So they had the Lagotto finding this rare fungus out in the bushland. They could, in theory, train dogs to find certain diseases, but you've got to actually have the scent of the disease to train them on. But it's you send them out and teach them that this is what they're looking for, and they've just got to let you know that they've found it.
How did Amare, I'm assuming Freddie went as well, how did they respond to that kind of training?
It's several weeks. Once they realise what they're supposed to be doing, you can see it. You look in and you get taught to look at their attributes of their face to understand when they're going into that sniffing mode and to hunt effectively and to find that scent. And it really engages the dogs for that time that they're doing that mini hunt
Yep.
to find it. You know, it's as much, sometimes you're really proud of the dog. The dog will go in for its particular little trial and it will get all of those things quite quickly. And then you go for the next session and not necessarily they'll find any of the treats too much.
There's finding the treats and actually knowing what them actually knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think the first course we did, I think Amare picked up. She had just a bit more of a natural instinct of what she was doing there. We've got one video where she just sort of sweeps the room, just sweeps the room with her nose and then goes straight to the point. And it's like, yeah, that's what it is supposed to happen. Freddie he'd be, going straight to the trainer and asking the trainer, and then there's motioning that there's a table full of treats there. You can just give me, and then it's like, oh yeah, no one's helping me. I might find something in these boxes. But he was also quite emotionally exhausted because of Amare's constant barking. So he would have been worried about her being unsettled the whole time in the new environment with new dogs. He was exhausted from that. But the second course we got, I could see where it just clicked in his brain that, if I find, if there's something hidden, and if I find it, I get the food.
Yeah.
And he just, it was just click, and he then knew what to do and could do it most of the time. But again, still sometimes he's like, oh, hang on, it's going to be easier if I just ask.
I think we're very
He's trying to be efficient, right? He's trying to be efficient.
Yeah.
I think we're very, very lucky also that the through the association of the obedience school that they were able to go and get a really good person that understood how to do this. And there was many people in our obedience school which are actually looking at going further and actually doing some of these things professionally. So with that, we did our introduction course, about a year or year ago? Or two?
Yeah, so you do the introduction course where it's just with food in boxes, finding food in different places. Then they introduce the scent. So a few different scents. The main base scent is birch, and there's a whole process about how they prepare it and put it on a cotton tip. And this is for the competition grade, so it's all a standard. So it'll have the same consistency of smell for the competitions. And if you prepare it in a certain way, then you can train the dog to look for the scents that will be on the competition field.
And one of the things that we got from that initial session was that we got games to play with these dogs when we came home. So often if we have to go out for a couple of hours, we'll prepare boxes with just some treats. The dogs will know it's about to happen. Then we'll make sure they leave the main living area space. I'll go and hide a bunch of the boxes around and, open the door. Great. Dogs fly in and we'll fly out the door to go and do our thing. And it keeps them entertained to be able to go and do that. That's really an informal way of doing it because it's just fun for them. But we've also, after we've done our second class at home, we're actually doing it a little bit more like procedural way that you probably
we got a little set with the scents and the container and a container to put it in. The proper gloves that you use so that you don't leave the smell of the powder on the containers. We've got a few containers and the birch. We went to a couple more informal just practice sessions. That got us to start practicing at home. And we've now got both of them finding the scent without the treat at the scent. So they can find the birch just as is.
And it's interesting, we're mainly doing it in the main living room area, but we've also now got a couple of other rooms in the house, and each room's a different challenge for them. It's not just going down to the park and throwing the ball with a dog. This is mentally stimulating for a dog to activate their scent and do it. We saw it after you had those big sessions at the obedience school with those scent training. You could see that the dog afterwards was mentally exhausted, like he'd done a 3-hour university exam. The dog was exhausted from the sort of work that they were doing.
Yeah.
With Amare and Freddie, would you feel like that your knowledge around dogs has increased even more since you've gotten these two, or because of this experience of doing the obedience training and the sniffing school?
Look, definitely, there was a steep learning curve with Amare. We did have another dog in between for a short while, and he was a difficult dog. So that taught me how to find the resources online, and that there is a lot of resources out there. So that I already had stuff at hand, thankfully. Who would have thought that you've got to train the dog to be calm and do a calming protocol with a dog. So this is, it's like, yep, that's definitely something we needed to put in place and do some practice around. I needed to do impulse control work with her. So teach her how to leave it. So you could have something sitting in your hand and they would leave it alone until you gave permission to take it. So little things like that, you wouldn't think you'd need with a puppy. And yeah, they came in really handy. So it's just, there are so many good videos out there. So many good people have put in their time and put together some great videos. And the conditioning videos that I did early on with her, there's such detailed clips and step by step how to get them to sit this way, put their paws in a certain way.
What are the moments that you have for yourself where you just go, I love this animal, it gives me so much back, even though I'm investing so much time, effort, and energy into my dog?
Yeah, I think, Freddie, it's a lot. Pretty much always. He's, it's like, he's such a good dog. Amari, it's, when we had got Amari D6 and we'd recently got Freddie, so to make sure she didn't pick at her stitches, we couldn't crate her, and just having to have her supervise. Somehow, we've got her sleeping in our bed. So it's like, it'll just be while she heals, that's no problem. But so this dog that can't stop, the happiest place for her and the stillest place for her is in our bed. So
On our bed.
on our bed, yeah. She doesn't get under the covers, but she will sit on the bed and stay on the bed all night, and be happy there. We actually have not dared try and have her sleep elsewhere since, just because we know that no, she's claimed this is her bed, and this is the way it is.
It's worth noting that when we first got her back, she was full on puppy, very full on puppy, and as puppies do, you try to put them into the laundry or you put them into the bathroom, and she would completely and utterly carry on like anything, and very hard to get her settled. And I think when we actually found that after this happened and that she was okay on the bed, we're like, well, okay, we're going to get her a good night's sleep. She doesn't take up too much room, and great, we'll just leave it at that.
And she was getting through the night. By then, she was able to get through the night without toileting. So that was all fine. So there was no need for her to be in the laundry, but I don't know where else we would have left her anyway, because we couldn't have left her in the living room. Like, I actually did one night. She was on the couch and she didn't follow me, and I'm like, okay, you stay there, and I've turned off all the lights, and I'm up the other side of the house upstairs, and then she starts howling because she's woken up, and I was gone. She didn't know where I was. So I don't know that there would have been any other direction to have gone. She's she's lovely, curled up next to us, and she'll just plump next to you. She will try and push
settle
us out
down
of the
just at
bed,
that,
but and she's woken up and she's sleeping lengthways. Why is there no room here?
Yep, I do know that feeling on a regular basis with my 28-kilo greyhound.
Yes.
It's very annoying, but I do love her. I just wondered too also, it sounds like your family unit is complete and whole because you've got these two beautiful dogs. You're actively engaged in their lives. They're a huge part of your lives. How much joy does it bring you every day, personally?
I think that the joy comes from also having it as part of our routine with us ourselves getting out and knowing that we're going to go and get some fresh air and walking with the dogs. That's part of it.
That's a good, great mental health boost, getting out and doing that walk every day. And there's no, there's no, unless it's raining, it's guaranteed that you're going out. So there's no backing out and saying, oh no, I don't feel like it today. You are getting up and you're taking them out for a walk. And if it's not the right length, you'll get the look, and you'll get dragged in the right direction. There's definitely the well-being aspect of it. But yeah, I think just having the extra creatures is just amazing. Having the extra household members. The dogs are the best people, aren't they? So they're very good company.
Pete?
Yeah, I think it's funny, like they're always here and they're always part of our house. So it's a bit hard for me to answer that because I haven't not been in the house when they're here. So it's part of the household. It's part of our lifestyles always. And it's not something that I wake up and I'm alone because we've always got the dogs here. And they're great company. They're great company always.
Oh, absolutely. And I do have to say, I've seen quite a few pictures now of poodles and Lagottos giving great side eye when they're not getting what they want. They seem to be very expressive animals.
Amare, yes, she does the best side eye ever. It is a talent.
If someone was considering taking on a Lagotto, what would be the top 3 tips that you would pass on to them now that you've had your experience with Amare?
My top just one, get a poodle instead.
Yeah. So I would say it definitely, you've got to understand, number one, and we've gone through this several times with you today, it's more of a working dog. They do need a lot of exercise. They do need a lot of attention. They will be, well, ours and some of the other Lagottos we've met will be guard dogs.
Yep.
They will go and make sure that their premises is secure. So
And respond
and
to
respond
anything
and to
going
respond
on.
to those things. All of the Lagottos we've met have had their own personality traits. So for us, it's specific that we've described her today as to the way that she is. But maybe not the easiest dog for a first dog, a pet owner
Not
to
for
have.
first time dog owner. And you just if you've got a bit of space, if you've got a big like acreage,
Yes.
you're in a much better position to have a dog like a Lagotto.
Yes.
Where they've got their own space. They do like to go off and do their own thing.
They love digging. They love getting into puddles. They love getting into a lot of mischief. And they're not going to be the sloucher in the house. They'll be active. They'll be very active.
I think that's very good advice. Thank you very much. Because we've been talking about your beautiful dogs, Amare and Freddie. Is there anything else that you would like to add as part of their story that you can share?
I wanted to talk really just about her and water and beaches and balls. And they're both supposed to be water dogs. Poodles are supposed to be
they had
duck retrievers, wasn't it?
Historically, they had the same jobs with the hunting and the retrieving.
Yeah.
So the
Lagotto was a marsh retriever also like that and then afterwards they became the truffle hunters that they are. But it is really amazing when we take them either down to the sea or to a swimming pool. She will just launch herself in. She'll launch herself into the pool and repeatedly just want to be in that water. Fred's a bit more of a having to get dragged in, but just to see the joy that she has when she's in the water and she's in her element. You just see the face light up, and it's amazing to see. So being able to go down in the middle of summer to an off-leash dog beach and just see them both running around it's a very joyful experience to see it and to see them socializing and just having the times of their lives. So
yeah, I love that. It's the daily dopamine hit from the dips in the sea. It's so nice. And it's such a beautiful experience, but didn't quite realize how much they really love getting in the water.
Her affiliation, like some other dogs, the different breeds, you'll have the same thing, but she's just got this huge affiliation with the water. I swear she can smell the water and she'll run to, like she went to a drain once when she was thirsty and unfortunately the ball rolled down the drain and then she got upset because the ball was gone. But it's like, what are you doing at the drain? And she was there to try and get the water. So it's, yeah, she knows how to find it and she knows what she wants, that's for sure.
I just want to thank you both for taking us into your world with your two beautiful dogs, Amare and Freddie, and giving me some insights into their lives, but also sharing their story and letting other people learn from your experience as well. It is so appreciated, and I'm so grateful because I've learned more about truffle hunting dogs and a little bit about poodles along the way, and also the dedication that you both have to your animals is admirable.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.